Hello, Weekly Piano here, and it is time for an Oscar Peterson lesson. This was requested by Coke, a guy named Coke, not the company. So this is a lesson on Oscar Peterson's C Jam Blues. I sort of went through the basics of how to play a blues from very basic to very advanced. But I don't know if I'm really going to go through that lesson plan because I just watched the video. Let's listen to just like a little bit of Oscar Peterson playing this here from the beginning of his video. Just like get inspired with me. This is the video. Hear that? So that thing that you hear that makes it so tasty from the beginning is the swing. It swings so perfectly. I don't even want to say heavy because it's not really as even, it's less swung than even a triplet. But it's consistent. It's that feel. And he's using, his vocabulary is very simple, very pentatonic, and very melodic. So, whew, look it up and watch the whole video before you take this lesson. It's Oscar Peterson C Jam Blues. It's the first one that comes up on YouTube, I believe. When you look it up, it's like 3 million views. But if you listen to that, it's that swing like... You know, it's like... Now, I'm no Oscar Peterson expert, but I know the basics of it, and the basics of it are that swing and then pentatonic vocabulary that is very melodic and very consistent with the chord changes. So, ooh, it's so good. I can hardly do it justice, but I hope you learn a little bit from this. So let's just start out with the blues progression and the melody for this song. Now let's take a step back that I've talked about Oscar Peterson a little bit and what makes him him, and let's just look at the blues. So you've got your C blues, which is, if you count the most basic blues by bars, it's 1 2 3 4 4 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 4 2 4 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. Now there's some advanced things in here that I'm not going to really explain because you probably know it already, which is how to play like a dominant seventh voicing. And I actually have other videos on this, so if you scroll through my videos, you'll find someone comping and voicing and all that. I'm not going to explain all that now for the sake of time. So that's like the most basic blues progression. Now you have your intermediate blues, which is what Oscar Peterson in this video does for most of it, which is this progression. Or something similar to it, because there's some variations on it, but it's 1 2 3 4 4 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 4 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 6 dominant to 2 dominant to 5 dominant to 1 6 2 5 1, and that's when you hear. I mean, he does it slower than I'm doing it here, but that's when you hear him go like. You know what he's doing there is he's navigating through the 6, like that's the 3 of the 6 to the 3 of the 2. The D is the 2. Then he's hitting the 3 of the. A lot of these, when you're navigating through chord changes, it helps to hit the 3 of the chord that you're going to. So then you're on the dominant 5. But he doesn't do that a lot. He actually stays more pentatonic than that for the most part, but that's what he does in a lot of the turnarounds. And then in one chorus of this video, he does the advanced blues, which some call the bird blues, where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 2, 5, 1 to the minor 6, half step down, 2, 5, 1 to the 4, and then to the minor 4 to the flat 7, to the minor 3, and then to the 6, or instead of the 6 you can do an E flat minor to A flat 7, and then the minor 2 to the 5, to the 3, 6, 2, 5. And so in time it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. The 4, minor 4, 3, 6, flat 3, minor 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5. Mind you, my chops are like dead right now because I've been on a really cool tour with a pop group, but that tour has kept my fingers from really staying as versatile as they are when I'm touring with jazz groups. So forgive me. Let's see what. Okay, so that's the advanced bird blues. You probably didn't quite get all that because I went through it really fast, but if you want I can do a whole video on just that, but you'll have to request it. So now let's talk about Oscar Peterson's vocabulary. In a lot of it he stays very rhythmic. I mean, he's a very rhythmic player, but a lot of the vocabulary, the interest of it lies in rhythm. So if I'm playing, like for example, I could play a whole solo on just one note, on the 1. And so I'll walk the bass line and I'll play the solo on the right hand. And that's a good exercise to do. I would recommend trying that. Either play along with the recording and just play rhythms on the 1, or walk a bass line if you're good enough to actually do the bass line with the 1, with practicing soloing the right hand, and then add a note. So this is a cool exercise. So Oscar Peterson plays, he stays very pentatonic. So when you're starting out with this exercise, start with the pentatonic scale, which is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. Pentatonic because it's 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So add another note. Maybe add the 3. So now you're just doing, like, if this is the blues progression. And then the 3 has to be flatted when you go to the 4. And then maybe add the 2. Pentatonic scale. See, you can do so much with just the pentatonic scale, just these notes, and then flat the 3 sometimes. And do you know why you flat the 3? It's because when you go to the 4 chord, that note, the dominant 4 is that scale, and so you want to make sure you're playing within the context of the dominant 4 scale. And so a lot of people forget, including myself, which I just forgot, how lightly Oscar Peterson plays. It doesn't need to be like slamming on the keyboard. Again, playing with this pop group, I tend to like hit. It's Halsey, by the way, is the pop group that it's pop artist who I'm accompanying on tour right now, an amazing singer. So, just in case you were curious, let's see. Where are we? Did I just blow my whole identity? I don't know, maybe. So, okay, that's the pentatonic method of doing his vocabulary with. Here are a couple of specific vocabulary pieces that he does pentatonically that I noticed in the video, like he does that. Like just up the triad and then skips the 5, goes to the 6, and lands down to the 5. So that can be done to lead into your first note. Then notice I change the 3 to the flat 3 if I go to the 4. Or it can be done like so it can be done that way, like after the start of the progression. Here's another cool pentatonic piece of vocabulary that he does that you can do for the whole tune, which is, he doesn't actually do that in this recording, but I know he does that sometimes, and I did a whole other video on it. So if you were to play that, it'd be like, so, but you get that idea. So that's pentatonic. I would call that intermediate vocabulary. Other vocabulary that he does centers around the chordal structure of the intermediate blues. So if you're going to well, let's just listen to a little bit of this, and I'll stop it. Whew, so good. Whew. Yeah, hear that? You did that. Woo! So bluesy. Sorry. Oh. Did I move the camera? I hope I didn't. I'm waiting for a progression. Because he's saying very pentatonic, very bluesy. Woo! It's just to show you, he's always leading back to that one, but doing these blues progressions you know, that's a very bluesy, that sort of thing. I don't know if he actually does that specifically. I really hope this is still recording. But that's you know, that's all just blues stuff, using the flat fifth. But I want to get to the moving around chord stuff. Yep, do you hear that? I think he did something like that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you, because he did for the 1, 4, 1, 4, staying, and then to go to the 6, remember where I told you how to go to the 6? He went, so which you could count that as going to the 3 and then the 6, preempting the 6 with the 3, because that's sort of the 5 of the 6, if that makes any sense. Which all the point of this is that, so you're looking at your 6, right? And you're starting on, now you're looking at the chord tones based on this being the 1. So So you got your 5, 4, 3. You're leading to the 3, and the 3 is the thing that really pushes you to that next chord and makes you hear the next chord. And it's so cool that you waited till two minutes into the song to actually do that, because it gives it so much gravity at that point. So it's 5, 4, 3. And if you put the 7 on there too, it's like, you know? And then you're going to the 2. So if I'm hitting it too hard again, like, so, I mean, do you get what I'm doing there? I'm like outlining. And another little piece of vocabulary that he doesn't really do in here, but that I like to do, is is the flat 9 and sharp 9 thing that you just saw me doing. So when I play, I'm looking at the 6 here, right? And this is the flat 9 and the sharp 9. So this piece of vocabulary is flat 9, sharp 9, flat 9 in triplets. 5, and then looking at the D now, 5, 4, 3. So flat 9, sharp 9, flat 9 of the A, and then 5, 4, 3 of the D. So, sorry. And you could even do that like, now it's flat 9, sharp 9, flat 9 of the D, going to the 5, 4, 3 of the G. Flat 9, sharp 9, 5, 4, 3 of the C. Flat 9 and sharp 9 always lead to the next chord of 5th down. That's why I do that. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure this is still recording, because I would be really dumb if this stopped like a minute ago. Yay, it's still recording. Okay, so let's go on here to so that would be what I would consider advanced vocabulary. And there's a riffs sheet that I have on my how to become a well-rounded jazz musician in 42 minutes, which is actually like, it talks about a lifetime of practice. But look at that video for the vocabulary sheet that I have, because it outlines a bunch of different advanced vocabulary that you can fit over this, especially on the 2-5-1s, because there are a million 2-5-1s in this. For example, when you go to the 6, it's actually, you can be a 2-5 from the E minor to the A, 7. So if you got your piece of vocabulary that I have on my riffs sheet of, you could be, if that's from D to G, but if you're going to the 6, it could be, and then, do you get that? Because that was the E. And you can you have to pick these pieces of vocabulary apart and use the pieces that you want, but you can't, but like they'll fit over these, is what I'm saying. Stop arguing with me. So just, this is the 2, for example. E minor. Sorry. To the 5, which is the A7. Notice the flat 9, sharp 9. And then the D now is a minor, and you could even do to the G7 to the C as the 1. So in context, I guess, I don't really know, like maybe like it would be like, the turnaround at the end, if that makes any sense. Leave a bunch of really negative comments if it doesn't. That always makes people feel better. Let's see, what is next? Okay, so that's advanced vocabulary, which you'll have to refer to my vocab sheet for that on the video that I described. Now, so musicality, we talked about the rhythmic exercise. There's an octave exercise that's really good. It's kind of hard with Oscar Peterson stuff because he's very pentatonic. but it's very valuable because then you hear, it forces you to make music within a limited context. So let's take the G to the G. I'm going to stay in this octave to make music and walk the bass line and practice only playing within this octave. Right now it'll just be pentatonic. So it's hard, you can see. I mean, I have trouble with it too. But when you do that enough, which I could for sure just use to go back to the basics and do that more to practice musicality, you will hear the ideas that you're putting together, because you'll have to skip octaves to get the chord tone. So like you'll be like, and then you can't go up here, you have to go down here. So you go, and then it'll like twist your musical thinking in different ways and open your mind to some things. So then when you do expand, you know why you're expanding and you have more purpose in expanding. So then you can be more musical in your expansion, if that makes any sense. Okay, so another thing that I would recommend thinking about are goal notes. Oscar Peterson does this in a very basic way. He focuses on going back to the one a lot. His lines lead like that's like always like starting at the top, the one is up here, and he's doing a bluesy sort of riff, and then landing back at the bottom, or focusing on the 5. So let's just listen to him for a second. I feel like it's advantageous to keep going back. Where's that? Notice how he's going back to the 1. He's like, every line is leading back to the 1 here. Yep, 1. It all leads back to the 1. So you can be very simple, like that leads to the 1, or you can add a little bit onto it, like. Back to the 1. Every time I go back to the 1, I'm diverging from it, but always coming back. And that's a very bluesy thing to do. That's like where Oscar Peterson's roots came from, was stride piano and blues. So I would highly recommend thinking about goal notes. And it doesn't have to be the 1, it could be the 5. now watch that. What I just did there, my goal note moved down. And then I could do another line that leads back to the goal note being up. And then I could lead another line going to the goal note a step up from there. And then like land back on the one if I want to. So goal notes can move. So you can have your goal note be here and then here and then here and then here, but then with a lot of notes in between, it creates interest in musicality. All right, so now I'm going to talk very briefly about more advanced harmony. So if you do the bird blues, which he does at one point in there, I think it's at 5 minutes. Let's just listen to what he does there. It's right about here. Yep, do you hear that? I'm going to repeat that again. Yep. See, so he's the chords that he played there were one. Now he's got a bassist playing with him. So, but then it was B diminished to E7 to A minor to A flat minor to G minor to C7 to F, and then he really sort of went back into the regular blues after that, which you could keep going with the bird blues after that if you wanted. But if you were to do soloing over that, you can do lines that navigate from B half diminished to E7, A minor to A flat minor to G minor to C7 to F. Now this is pretty advanced, so I don't know if ask questions about it if you want more answers. I'm not going to go too deeply into that, but it sounds like... keep doing it in, you can go right back to the pentatonic stuff after that if you want, which he does. Okay, so like, in a nutshell now, because I've gone on for a long time, and this is probably one of my more rambling lessons, think about swing and practice with a metronome, practice swinging, which put the metronome on the quarter beat, like this, and then, well, it should actually be a little slower than that. And then practice your swing like you have to listen to Oscar Peterson and just try to match it, because you can't really set a metronome because it's not exactly triplets. So you can't set a metronome to the subdivision, you have to set it to the quarter note, but really feel that quarter note. Every quarter note has to be really spot on with the metronome. That's what Oscar Peterson's known for. And then practice vocabulary from the simple pentatonic, like that is, and then to the more advanced stuff that I have in my sheet in the other video, which I talked about. And then I give you a few rhythmic exercises to do as well. So people keep trying to come in here because after a concert, everybody's looking for a shower. And there's a shower in here, but everybody's too embarrassed to walk by the camera. Sorry for them. Anyway, yeah, I believe that's a good overview. Let me know if you have questions, or feel free to rip me apart in the comments. And I will see you in the next weekly piano lesson. Bye.